Okay, everybody, we're ready for the workshop for the July workshop for the August 3rd regular meeting. We have a citizen forum. Hold on just a minute. We got to get everything ready. Everybody noticed the screen. Anybody have any questions with that? You need to speak up now. The TCA-39-17-306 will be in effect. Starting the citizen forum, Mary Jane Skinner, come to the podium and speak. For your record, state your name and address.
Mary Jane Skinner. I reside at 792 Stones River Road. I had two things to do tonight, but I'm going to only do one because I got one worked out earlier. It's about the tall grass on the corner of near Shraveman and Madison Square. And the gutter there is just full of trash where the water can't go in. And also the tall grass on Sand Hill behind the little storage units past the city convenience center. There's several places that I've noticed around Laverne where the tall grass is. And I think maybe something should be done about it. And hopefully something will be done because it does not look good for the city to have all those tall grasses and junk cars and buses there on Sand Hill in that tall grass. That's all I've got to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. With just one on the citizen forum, and it's after 5:30, we're just going to roll right into the workshop. This is the workshop for the August 3rd, 2017 regular meeting. I have the prayer, the pledge allegiance with Alderman Brown. Look over your minutes for June 29th, 2017, and July the 6th, 2017 regular meeting. After the department reports, we got one presentation. That's for meeting only. Alderman Jones. Now we're down to old business. Second reading, ordinance 2017-15. This is an ordinance to amend Title 10, Chapter 1 of the Laverne Municipal Code by adding a new section 10-105 entitled Removal of a Protection of Animal Excrement. We spoke about it at workshop on last month, and it passed 3 to 2, and so we got it on second reading. Any discussion, excuse me, on this? That's the animal waste. It's any discussion on it? I think we discussed it last month at workshop in depth. Hearing no, we'll move on to number 5. Second reading ordinance 2017-16. This is an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 general fund budget. This is the something we do about every year. This is due to a bond issue, changing a little bit in the fire department, changing something in the fleet, and adding money to the economic development. We're just kind of moving money over in the budget. We spoke about this last month. Any questions on number 5? If not, we'll move on to number 6. Second reading, ordinance 2017-17. This is an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 senior citizen fund budget. This is something I think we still do every year, and we spoke about it in the workshop last month. This, we're going to add $5,000 to the senior food fund. Here, no question. Number 7. Second reading ordinance 2017-18. This is an ordinance to amend fiscal year 2016-2017 drug fund budget. This is kind of a year-end cleanup. We're moving money from the drug fund over to the Equitable Sharing Fund. We'll be talking about the Equitable Sharing Fund later on a different line item, but this is just moving money from one fund to another. And any questions on the drug fund? We'll move on to, I think it's number 8. Second reading ordinance 2017-19. That's an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 water and sewer fund budget. We spoke about that last month. If you remember, this is to do with the city purchasing the new water meters that replacing out the old ones. Any question on number 8? Number 9, motion to approve agreement with Alpro for police department software. Last month it was deferred because the city attorney didn't have time to go over the agreement.
Yes.
And Bruce,
Evan did review the agreement and requested several changes. The company has reviewed those changes and they will accept the changes. We've just got to get the version that's in your packet is the old version, but by next Thursday the new version will be ready to go and we should have it in the packets. So they are going to make the changes and Evan should be okay with that.
any question for Evan? He's here. Number 10, this is a motion to approve with Agency 360 for police department software. Again, this was deferred last month for attorney looking over the paperwork. And if everything checks out, it will be on the regular meeting for a vote.
Right, and there again, I think there was one word that is still lacking that we've got to get them to change, but we should have that ready by next week.
We're down to consent agenda. A, approve city bids and purchases. A vehicle for stormwater. This is a vehicle for stormwater that was, it was budgeted in the budget, and the vehicle did come in budget. And number 2 is a state contract pricing for a tractor for street department, and it was also in the budget, and the tractor did come in in the price range, right? Any questions on A, 1 and 2? We'll move on down to consent agenda B, approve proposal for Griggs and Maloney for engineering services for the 24-inch water main extension from the Stones River roundabout to the water treatment plant. I think Mr. Griggs is here to answer any questions. Bill, you want to get up and just kind of get us a kind of a update on it?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. This is a project we identified in 1999, and at that time we said you'll need it when you grow into it. You've now grown into it. The water plant can treat 10 million gallons a day, which is what you'll need if you build out everything within your city limits. You're bound by the lake and other cities. I mean, so you can't grow past your current city limits. So we estimate when you get built out, you'll have a peak demand of about 10 million gallons a day. The current piping will only let you pump 5 million gallons a day through it into your tanks. And as I said, we recommended at the time you wait until you get close to that limit. You're getting close to that limit. The pipes now can handle 5 million gallons a day. On certain days, you're pumping 4.7, 4.6 million gallons a day. And the state of Tennessee has a law, it's not a regulation, that when you get to 80% of your capacity, you got to be ready to make improvements. So we're a little bit past that 80%. So this is a proposal to take the 24-inch line from the water plant to the roundabout. There's already a 24-inch line from the roundabout to the tanks. We've been building that as an opportunity presented. When the park line was being built, the city decided at that time go ahead and put that pipe in the ground because it's cheaper and easier than dealing with it later. When Walden Road was expanded, did the same thing, put a 24-inch line in. So we took those opportunities to go ahead and do it while construction was in the area, and it'd be not so much inconvenience to the public. So this is the next step. So
Any questions for Bill on the water line? Bill, if I can get you to stay up there, because C is you too. Number C is approve proposal for the Griggs and Maloney for engineering service for water treatment plant improvements and maintenance items.
yes, sir. For the last 4 or 5 years, every time you put your budget together in the spring, we've given the city board a list of maintenance items that need to be done at the water plant. And usually you'd say, wait till next year, then we present it next year, and you say, wait till next year, we present it next year. So this is that same list. And 1 or 2 items have been added to it because, like your house, every year something new breaks or needs painting or something. So this is a list of things that you've generally seen in the past when you put your budget together, but those budget years it didn't fit. So I hope it fits this year. I understand it might. So that's what this is. These are all maintenance items at the water plant. You've hired an operator, but it's still your plant. So this is like painting your house and replacing the refrigerator and putting a new roof on. So, and we are putting a new roof on. but anyway, so these are maintenance items that you've seen before.
Any questions for Bill? Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
We're down to D. Approve an interlocal agreement between the Rutherford County law enforcement agencies to provide mutual assistance in law enforcement concerning the incorporated effort to identify and pursue criminals, gangs, and violent offenders. Who's here to stand for this one?
Yes, sir.
Chief, is that you?
I'll handle it. It's a memorandum of understanding between the law enforcement agencies here in Rutherford County, and it has been proposed by one of the ASACs with TBI that has been here and worked with us on a lot of various things through the years, and is involved at Middle Tennessee State as an adjunct professor over there. And he recommended that since we have such a good working relationship, it'd be good to go ahead and do the MOU between us. I think the only other agency that's added in there is Tennessee State, isn't it? I'm not mistaken in that agreement, or Middle Tennessee State. And we are more than interested in it because we're sharing data and information with each other, and it's beginning to make a little bit of a difference on some of our cases. And we'd ask for you to approve it because doesn't cost us anything. It's just a legal agreement under the law. Correct me, Evan, if I'm wrong, but a legal agreement under the law that says we have your permission for us to all work together.
Any question for the chief on the agreement between Rutherford County Law Enforcement and Laverne? We're down to E. This is approved application for a roadblock to be conducted for the Rolling Thunder organization. This is to be done from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. on Saturday, August the 12th, 2017, with a rain date of August 19th, 2017. This will be at the intersection of Murfreesboro Road and Stones River Road. This is roadblocks we have gave permission before. But any of these items we have any issues with, just get with Bruce and we can pull them off and put them on a line item. Down to new business, first reading ordinance 2017-20. An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 equitable sharing fund budget. This is part of what we had earlier about the drug fund. This is a new fund, a line item. Phyllis, you probably can explain it better than I can.
Yes, typically we combine equitable sharing fund and drug fund money together in one bank account, and we've been instructed that we need to separate that. So in a previous amendment, we had the amendment to move the actual cash monies from the drug fund to the equitable sharing fund. And now that we've done that, we've got expenses this year that when we were already into the budget year whenever we set up this new fund. So this is the budget line item for this particular item.
Any questions for Phyllis? This is just basically moving money from one deal to another. Number 13, a resolution 2017-16, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the needs and directed disposal of the same. This is the impound vehicles that's been seized and impound. I think it consists of around 21 vehicles that will be auctioned off through the police department. I think it's only auctioned off online, but I think it's 21 vehicles. Number 14, this is a resolution 2017-17, a resolution to authorize the City of Laverne to participate in a TML Risk Management Pool Safety Partners Mansion Grant Program. This is a 50-50 safety grant. I think it's, was it $11,000? And I think we share 50-50 on that, so it's something that's, is that something we do every year?
Yes, this is a grant we apply for every
Oh,
year.
every year, okay,
This year, we're looking for help with some online safety training.
okay. Number 15, a motion to approve a license agreement with the Windstream KDL Incorporated to contract maintenance, operation, and use for fiber optic telecommunication network within a specified portion of the city's right-of-way. Let's see. Glenn, that might be you.
Not me, sir.
No, it's not Glenn this time.
It's not Glenn on
This company approached the city about 3 years ago, I believe it was, to put some fiber line in over off of Jefferson Pike. We had some issues resolving an agreement to let them use our right-of-way, so that one kind of fell through. But they came back this time. They're wanting to put a fiber along a small portion of Stones River Road. If you look, I'm not sure what page it's 159 of the packet, Glenn. You'll see a map there showing where they're going to locate in the right-of-way. It's on either side of the railroad. They're actually going to go underneath the railroad and then it's going from the cell tower, the new cell tower over there, and then going under the railroad and then across the road to that telephone pole right there where they will connect up to their other services, I'm assuming. So it's like 300, 400 feet tops. And so this is the agreement that has been worked on. Evan has worked extensively on this and kind of gone back and forth, but we believe everything is in order. But this basically just gives them rights to use our right-of-way to put that fiber in. There is a small fee that they will pay the city every year. I believe it's a 3-year agreement. We're looking at $500 per year, which I know isn't much, but you got to look at the cost for that section of right-of-way. And I believe there's also a section in there where we could use part of their fiber if we needed to, and I know Glenn will jump on that if he can, because we're trying to find a way to get fiber from the fire department to the civic auditorium. So it's possible that we could use this as a way to get over or around, or under in this case, the railroad. So this could benefit the city as well. From that standpoint.
Will there be a box attached to any portion of our right-of-way?
You know, I think they would come up next to the telephone pole, and I'm not sure exactly how that's going to be built out on the other end, you know, on the cell tower side. I would assume it's going to go underground on their property and then come into the right-of-way and go down alongside the road.
What kind of liability does the city have in case of damage to that road or repairs to the road damaging their fiber optic line.
I believe in the agreement, it talks about liability, and I believe they assume all liability for that situation.
That's right.
Any more questions?
Is that just with the city, or do they have to go with?
They'll have to get an agreement with the railroad to go under the railroad.
From us?
That's totally separate from us.
Okay.
We would have to do the same thing if we were gonna go under or over the railroad.
Any further questions? Seeing this as a contract, Evan, you've looked over it.
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, that's like Bruce mentioned, that's a document that we've marked up a lot. It's probably in the form that it's in right now. It may not be in the final form, but the substance of it is right. There may be some typos and things we need to clean up. So the version you'll have on Thursday will be the final version that we'll then give back to the people who presented it to us, if you choose to do it.
And if you have any questions, you can call.
Certainly, please.
Call Bruce or Evan.
Yes, sir.
We got an extra few days on this because of we won't be here Tuesday for National Night Out. We'll be here a week from
Thursday.
tonight. It'll be Thursday. No more questions to be done. At 16, a motion to regard the purchase of property for a future Fire Station 1 and headquarters facilities. This is something I think me and Chris and Ricky has worked on for a little while. Who's going to get up and speak on it?
It doesn't matter, we can both talk,
Okay.
we can both speak on it. Bruce, do you want to start us off on where we are with this?
Y'all go ahead, explain the properties first.
You gonna put us right on out there?
I'll explain the properties first, then we'll talk about how we're gonna do it.
Okay. Well, as you can see, there's been two pieces of property that myself and Chief Clark have looked at that would be suitable for a headquarters to be put at. The first one there is at 317 Old Nashville Highway. It shows there 4.32 acres of property, but the problem that we have there is that there are some TVA high-tension wires that run across the backside of that property. So that cuts off 150 feet inward of that property that can't be built upon, or actually anything can be done on. So that brings that acreage down quite a bit. That's, I think, about 250, 300 feet across the back of the property, times 150 feet. So it's bringing it down to where those two plots of property are about the same size. Then, of course, both properties we're looking at, the 192, 198 on Nashville Highway is actually a glass contractors, just as you come out from under the underpass there. As you can see there, that it's a little bit less acreage-wise. It's about 3 acres, but it's plenty for the size of building that we're looking at building for our headquarters. We think it is an excellent location for such. It does have three different road frontages. It's about 800 feet of road frontage if you count all three. Both properties do have water, sewer, natural gas, and electric on the property itself, so there wouldn't be any having to cross over or anything like that on either one as far as utilities. Both of them do have utilities currently on the property, so all of the utilities we need are going to be there on both. As you can see, the 317 on Nashville Highway, the asking price there on that piece of property is $795,000. And then the glass contractor building is $579,000. Appraisal fees, those were just estimated. It runs about $3,000 per property to have those professionally appraised and come back to the board with that. We went ahead and looked at the possibility of having to do some demolition on each property. The 317 Old Nashville Highway property up on the front left corner up near closest to the roadway, there is a 2-story house there that would have to be demolished prior to being able to build on. We had a contractor come out and just give us a rough estimate, because taking consideration we would have to bid that if we went forward with the project, but we needed some decent numbers to give to y'all. But they estimated the demolition of that home and an outbuilding there to be right around the $12,475. The glass contractor's building there, and I'll show you when we get through this, I'll point it out to you, but there's one section of that property of the building that they're gonna take with them when they leave. It's the newer garage portion, the metal building portion. They're gonna take that portion with them. That would be where we would erect the newer section if we get that building for the 6 bays to go into place. So them taking that piece of the building wouldn't hurt anything as far as a purchase for us. If we had to demolish that building completely, and this would be something that we would have to look at a lot closer with architects and people of that nature that can give us better numbers and all, but if we had to demolish the entire property, that entire building and start over, it was right around $48,000. It was around $48,000 to come back and do that complete to where it would be ready to be built upon. This is the old Nashville. This is the one with the house on it. The house, of course, and the outbuilding is what would have to be demolished. And if you look towards the back of that property, if you come up, you see that TVA tower right there. If you come back up into the property 150 feet, obviously behind it would be useless all the way to the property line. And then if you come forward towards the tree line in the middle, about the tree lines where 150 feet would be. So all of that property is unbuildable and unusable for anything. So all we basically would be able to use is from about where the green pin is at forward. That would probably be enough to build the station there. But again, there's only one road frontage there to the old Nashville Highway. There are some drainage issues and stuff there in the back half of that property as well, because there's a little creek that runs back there. It does flood on that lower backside as well. Even the part that's buildable upon on that piece of property, it would probably take some fill in the back half area that we could build on. So in our opinion, there's a lot of land remediation that would have to be done there. Of course, this is the glass contractor building. It does come all the way over. In the bottom right corner, you can see, the 2 trailers that you see there. There's a fence that runs to the left-hand side of those. That's where the property stops. Of course, it goes from Old Nashville Highway over to Buchanan Street. The trailer, the little building that you see on the corner to the left-hand side there of Old Walden and Buchanan, that is part of the property. It comes all the way to the corner. The building that they would be removing is the green top, newer looking metal building there that is skirted off towards the middle of the screen. That would be where we would propose to put the 6 bays if we're able to keep and renovate the rest of the building. The square white portion that you see there, we've been in this building several times. We've carried a lot of different people in there with us to look at it. That room is perfect for the training facility that we would be needing in a new station. The little section that you see that's in the L portion right there is probably the newest section of that building. It is not physically connected to the building itself. It is big enough for us to put our admin personnel in, keep them separated from the actual fire personnel and all, which was something that we've talked about before, keeping us close but separated as well. So that part of the building would suffice for that. It's kind of hard to see, but of course everybody's, I think in Laverne, is familiar with the rock structure itself. It is 2-story. The only way to access the upstairs is through, you can see a outer stairwell there that goes up. In a renovation, we would have to have an inner stairwell put in as well during the renovation. But that block building is built out of 18 by 24 inch limestone rock. That building is rated storm ready, both top and bottom floors. So not something that's going to move very easily. It's a pretty sturdy building. To the top corner, up towards the curve there, you can see there's 2 more additions that are on that building. Those are actually 2 other bays that are there that we could utilize to put our hazardous materials trailer, our decon trailer in. if we needed to put even more offices or, different training areas, keep our training props and stuff inside, we'd be able to do that in that portion of the building. This piece of property is definitely big enough to do what we would need to do, but as I said, there could be a little bit of demolition that needs to be done here, or a lot. Obviously, the trailer there and the little outbuilding would need to come down. But obviously, that wouldn't cost us $48,000 in demolition. But there's also room down to this far corner that we'd even be able to put a small training tower for us to be able to do our training drills and stuff on. So ideal, as far as we're concerned, it's an ideal spot for us to be because of the road frontage on 3 sides. We'd be able to, what we would consider the back side of the Bay Area would be the Buchanan Street side. We could put drive-through bays there and be able to enter onto the Old Nashville Highway. That would be what we would consider the front side of the building. That would be the front Bay Area. That'd be the what we would call the main frontal portion of the building. And if we were to get this piece of property and develop it into what we're needing, we would also recommend that we take the curve there of the old Walden Road, take it out. That is the area where we have a lot of wrecks where people are pulling out and you can't see under the underpass. We've had a lot of T-bone accidents there through the years. So we would even recommend that be brought back to the house that you see that's off property up at the top corner of the screen. That would be a dead-end street there. So this is the property that we're recommending over the other with the house on it. It is a cheaper piece of property as well. The land itself is well worth the money that they're asking for it, even if we can't use the building and we have to do the demolition. It's definitely big enough for the buildings that we've been looking at for our headquarters. Even if we had to demolish it and build a new building on it, the property is big enough for us to be able to do that. But our goal would be to try to keep that structure intact and just to remodel that building that's there now and add on the new bay section. There's a lot of historic value there. The building is 117 years old. There's a lot of hard work put into that building. It's been here for as long as I can remember. So, and a lot of aspects of what's on the inside of that building, we would probably even try to incorporate and keep original. We wouldn't even want to try to change it.
So is it still, am I looking at this, because part of my green line is shut off. As I go down Buchanan, all the way back around, I don't know what street that would connect Old Nashville Highway, but
Your
all of
actual
that property.
Your actual property line, the 2 trailers that you see here stacked on the right corner here, the property line, the tree line that you see there, that's actually your property line and then back.
Okay.
We had originally thought that the 2 trailers were part of the property as well, but they are not.
Okay.
That is a separate piece of property. Now, this is 2 plots of property. There's a square back here on this back corner, but it's owned by the same people, and that price is for both of those pieces of property. And that's the reason for the 2 different addresses that's on it. But
Okay.
that property line does come at a straight angle, about from where the N is in Old Nashville Highway there, in straight down, and where that telephone and light pole is at, over to Buchanan
So
Street.
who owns that? I mean, who owns that? Do you know who owns
The
that?
Oglesby's, I think is
That wasn't up for. The reason I'm asking is the area that you just showed, is there any way possible to erect, as far as what the fire academy or whoever, you know what I'm getting at? I want to
Yes.
know if we can erect our own training area.
Yes.
And have other counties come in, we charge other counties.
And we have looked at that. If you see down in the corner, you see the 3 pickup trucks that are parked there. They're glass trucks, and then you see 3 tractor trailer trailers sitting there. That grassy area right out there. That area is big enough for us to concrete that whole area.
Okay.
Run water lines in for us to be able to put in hydrants for training, as well as we're looking at what's called a Connex box type constructed training facility, where they just take old Connex boxes and they weld them together, and they'll put them in any configuration that we want. But it is big enough for us to be able to do that, yes, sir.
So we do have the, I mean, that does have the acreage for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We would basically, obviously, we'd have to find enough room there, which would probably be back on this left-hand corner. Obviously, we've got to have, to meet codes, a specific amount of green space. That probably would be the area where that green space would be, because obviously coming off the base from the rear and going forward, all that would be concreted in for the truck access in and out. And then, of course, everything around the training tower would be concreted for the apparatus to be able to pull in on each side to be able to train. So the only thing we'd have to do is just make sure that we put enough green space on this other corner to accommodate meeting the regulations for that.
Is that, I'm sorry.
And another thing, on the long-range plan of widening the old National Highway over to the Coca-Cola plant, the Buchanan Street there, we'd be purchasing property that we already done decided we would need. So, when that time comes to widen Old National Highway and go down Buchanan Street, we'd already own that
Correct.
piece of property.
Yes, sir.
And, who knows in 3 or 4 years what that right-of-way would cost us. So we actually, by buying this piece of property, we're really not just doing one thing. We're doing this will cure multiple things.
Right.
By being able to block off that section of Old Walden Road with the underpass to cut down on traffic accidents, but to already require the Buchanan Street right-of-way for expansion of widening Old National Highway.
Do you know when you're going to find out whether the older building, the stone building, can sustain a firehouse?
We would have to, Chris has talked briefly, but we have not had a structural engineer or an architect of any kind come out and look at the building itself. That would be something that we would have to have an approval to do so. That can get pretty expensive just in itself. There's no doubt that the property will accommodate even a new building, but as we said, we'd like to be able to keep the building if possible and just renovate it.
Yeah.
But we do need a professional opinion. We've went in and we've walked it. That would be a lot of work to be done inside. Obviously, it's an industrial type area inside the rock part, because they've got big, huge 480 volt glass cutting machines, and it's bare concrete floors and things like that. But there's a lot of renovation that would have to be done there, but it does suit what we would need. Now, a professional, structural engineer, we would probably need to get that done and look, especially with the second floor on that building. I did look at it a little bit closer. That was one of the concerns. Talked to Kyle and Bruce both about that. The second floor, they're not using for anything up there now but storage. The floor is kind of wavy up there, and at first we thought, well, it's got some bad structural floor beams in it. But if you go on the bottom side, they're exposed beams. They're perfectly straight. They look brand new. You can't see any warpage on the bottom side. It looks like it's the actual second floor decking. And she did tell us that at one point they had a leak on the roof there, and before they had repaired it, that top floor had got some water in it, and that's probably where that plywood decking got the warping and all to it. So replacing that would be nothing but just decking board. And the upstairs in that building would be used basically as the private quarters for the firefighters. It would be the bunk room, obviously their showers, their locker rooms. We would probably put their workout room upstairs, maybe even put their day room upstairs, and keep everything downstairs public access basically, and then everything upstairs would be their private area. And as far as the rest of the building goes, one of the issues that Chris had, when he spoke to the party about the renovation, it does cost more money in order to renovate a building than build brand new. But basically that's because you end up rewiring due to the fact of aluminum wiring being used in it. But this building's running 480 volt machines inside. We would have to have that downgraded even by the electric company, because there's nothing that we would ever use that would require 480 volts. We'd be using 110 and 220. So if it's carrying 480 volts through it right now, in my mind, and I'm not an electrician, but if it's carrying 480 volts through it now and running industrial equipment, it can't need a whole lot of upgrade in wiring. It's obviously not aluminum, not carrying voltage like that. So I don't know that there would be a whole lot of that type of upgrade that would need to be done. I think the owner herself, she did state to us that she had NES come out and equip this building with I guess, Bruce, what's the best way to explain it? A stabilizing electric stabilizer to keep the current at a stable rate at all times. Due to the fact that they're running those big heavy machines, because before they had that done, when their machines would kick on, the air conditioner would kick out, things like that. Now it's all run across the board stable. No problems like that since they've had that done. So to me, that tells me too that the wiring in it's got to be in pretty decent shape in order for the electric company to come in and even add a system like that to it. And everything is exposed inside this building anyway because it's block. There's no electric run inside the block. It's run exposed through conduit or overhead in the beams themselves, so which are already exposed as well. And if we're doing a renovation, obviously we're going to move plugs and outlets and lighting fixtures and all to where we need them for the different areas of the station anyway. To me, that's no different than us building the new building.
Question, sprinkler system.
Sprinkler system?
It would have to have one, I assume.
It would.
And is one in there?
There is not a sprinkler system in it because it's 117 years old.
Okay.
Myself and Bruce have talked about some other options that we could go with that, and not having to sprinkle the entire building. So I think we can work with that.
So this would be considered changing usage, obviously, if we were to purchase it for that. So they wouldn't be grandfathered into not having to sprinkle it because of the change of usage. And if you added on or demolished, then you would do.
Right. If we built a brand new station, obviously we would sprinkle the building.
Yeah, with the brand new station. But I'm saying if you kept that longest building, which seems like the biggest one, would that be 50%? Even if you're going to keep the white square, you're going to connect.
Right. If we kept all of the existing structure except what they're going to remove that they wanted themselves.
Right.
No, sir. Adding our bays would not be 50%.
Okay.
Because you're basically looking at, well, adding 6 bays on this end down here where that existing metal building that they've put up with the green top, those bays run about, what would you say, Chris? They've got 12-foot doors in them, so you could say it's not going to be 50% of the total square footage of the rest.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
Yes.
but you would, okay, with the.
And one thing about this building here, we've already talked about needing a building in Laverne to be storm ready.
Right.
And this was the walls on this building is 20 inches,
24 inches.
24 inches wide.
Yeah. It's 18 by, the blocks themselves in that building are 18 by 24. I mean, it's definitely.
A little bit of history on this piece of property. When the Civil War come through here in '62, there was a structure there and the Union burned it. It was built back, and then in 1900, when the tornado come through Laverne in 1900, it blew it away. That's the reason when the gentleman built this building back, he built it actually tornado-proof with 24-foot blocks. If it blows this building away, it's going to blow the world away. And it stood for a long time, and it'd be a perfect.
That block is so thick that you can see it's adjacent to the railroad tracks, obviously. When we've been inside this building and the trains went through, you can't even hear the train go by.
So, Chief,
So that's-
also, that little piece that you said would be your administrative offices,
Yes, sir.
would you want to keep it there, or would you want to show more of that building?
I would say that we would rather keep it there.
Okay.
It is a newer portion
Yeah,
of the building.
yeah.
It would definitely suffice for what we want in keeping the offices separate for the upper administration. But even if we removed it, there's enough room in the front half of that building downstairs for us. There's already offices
Oh,
in
no,
it.
I mean, you could, I'm just saying, since it was not connected and the green part's coming out,
Yes, sir.
if you shift if you made your 6 bays and put that in, since you're gonna have your administrative personnel in that smaller portion, because it's gonna be a lot for your administrative people if you kept it like that.
Right.
But I'm just thinking ahead on that,
Yes,
because
yes, sir.
now that you're giving us all the history about the building, I wanna see more of it, and
Right.
let's move that from in
See,
front of it.
that's been me all along. I absolutely would not want to do anything to disturb that rock building.
Yeah,
In fact, even in talking with the owner, obviously they want to sell the property, but they have a lot of sentimental value of the building. I feel the same way about it. I'd even made the statement to Bruce that even if we did have to demolish the building, we would have to find some way to keep part of that rock wall
You'd have to
there.
get us- I mean,
Even if it was a monument or something
that
inside
wouldn't
the
be a
building.
simple demolish at 24.
Right. Now, to me, there's absolutely no reason to demolish that main structure of that building at all.
If that building is as strong as that, it's gonna take a lot
Right.
to
Well,
demolish.
even the demolition gentleman that came out to look at it to do the demolition, that was why the price was as high as it was. Just due to the sheer fact that he thought it was going to take him quite some time with heavy equipment to get rid of that block section of that building.
If a tornado come through Laverne, that's the building I'd want to be
That
in.
would be where I would want to be, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a good PR. If you could get a training facility there and
Oh, yes, sir.
a local storm disaster
Absolutely.
area, that would be, that would be great.
I agree.
Okay.
And I know that's a crazy selling point for me, but the history there to me is worth a lot. But that's me.
Yeah, and the revenues for other counties coming in to use the facility would be
Yes, sir.
a lot.
And that's the big square room there. It is two stories tall. It also has a sliding glass door in it that we could actually bring props in through. It's big enough to drive a regular sized car in. So it's perfect for the training room. That was one Chris walked through, and as soon as we walked through the main part and he saw that room, I had to pull him out of there. So it's perfect for that.
When we was in there, it's nothing about that building is lightweight. It's all heavy duty.
No, it's all heavy.
It's huge. I mean,
The only weak portion of that building is the part they want to take with them.
Right.
I mean that.
Even the beams in there is probably
they're-
cut by a
right.
sawmill.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
they're
huge.
saw cut beams for floor joists. They're not. They didn't come from a lumber company anywhere. They're actually, hand sawn beams in there. It's sturdy.
Is the heating and cooling of that building going to be managed?
I know that when we were in there, it was on one of the days when it was about 98 degrees and it was freezing me to death, and I like to be cold. She said the heating is about the same. Now, they did have problems before they added that system to the building because obviously the machinery was kicking, and she was even having a lot of problems with the electrical surgeon for other reasons. But once she put that in there, she said that you never even realize that the machines are kicking it off and on. And then again, with the service that's coming into that building, we're not ever going to be pulling that kind of voltage through there to begin with. So now how new that equipment is, I do not know that. I know that she did tell us that they had put new air conditioning units in it, but I don't know how old they are. But it was extremely cold in there on a 98 degree day.
That's what I figured it would be.
Right.
I was worried about that.
And then, of course, with
winter.
the block, too, I mean, the insulation in that main building is 24-inch rock.
Right.
So,
And are there any plumbing issues?
not that I know of. I don't. Deets, you know of anything that's ever in that area that we've ever had any problems with? It has multiple bathrooms downstairs in it. I think there's 4 total, Chris, on the property. I think there's 4 total bathrooms there. So there's plumbing in different spots, you know. We would have to arrange that in the renovation as to where we put the public restrooms and then
This might be putting the cart before the horse, but is there a way when you do start, if we were to select this and everyone agrees on this location, is there a way that you could get a price on possibly, I don't know if you would call it a roof, or getting some sort of pitch on that? Because those, or is it a regulation that it must stay flat? Could they get a pitch on there? Because I can even see water standing on there from the picture of the shot.
to the backside. I noticed that too.
Yeah. So could you look into just getting the cost to get, because that's gonna be a
Just to
problem.
put a pitched roof on it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem at some point, because I guarantee you
Right.
it's gonna eat its way through.
Right.
One of the things that we were looking at, I don't mean to speak out of turn, to kind of conclude, is that once we hopefully purchase this property, then we would go to an architect and get some renderings and things like
Yeah.
that. And as we start building into this, we can add, subtract, those kind of things to that.
Okay. All right.
Any further questions on the future fire station one? I know anybody's been in station, the old station one, it's been there since '68 and it's well outdated.
Our old station is about the size of that one, that single wide trailer down there on the bottom is about what we're in right now. So it would be a dramatic improvement. There's a lot of room in this building, even for future growth. It would get everything that we own currently. It would get it under roof, where now we even have, you know, an outside storage area for $1 million trailer that we've got there, but it's sitting outdoors still in the heat, and we'd be able to get it indoors here as well.
And one good thing, we won't have to borrow the money. We won't have to raise taxes to buy it. You know, we got the money in reserve to buy it. So, you know, the money shouldn't be an issue.
Right. And we're already one of the new safety officers' position. Right now, we've got him looking into even grants for the fire tower, because in our opinion, the fire tower should probably be built at the same time that we do the renovation in the bays, just so it's all done at one time. Because obviously, there'll have to be some water lines run and some hydrants put in and things like that. So, and concrete being poured. If we're going to do it, we might as well do it all at one time. So we're trying to look at some grants as well for the fire training tower portion of it.
And it's a good chance that we may be able to get y'all in before the 2.5 year runs out on the Civic that we gave y'all in that. It's
Yes,
a good possibility.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be within that time zone.
There are 5 offers on this currently, so that y'all know. I think the owner kind of has took to Chris a little bit. Probably not me so much, but I think the owner likes Chris pretty well. And I think she's trying to hold off and see if we can. I think she'd much rather the city and us have it for a fire station than to sell it to somebody that may end up tearing it down. So, because she knows our feelings are that we really, really want to keep the structure if any way possible.
We got a week before the next meeting, so everybody can go by there. And I'm sure if you asked them, I'm sure they would let you walk in there.
Right. I think she considers us family now. We've walked through there so many times. They try to teach us how to cut glass every time we go in there. So, but they're just looking to downgrade their business. They've went into more specialized glass cutting and stuff, so they don't need the space or that big a building anymore. So it's just that's their reason for selling. They just don't need a piece of property or a building that big any longer.
All right, now we're moving on down to number 17. This is a motion to approve or deny a settlement offering for Michael Mullins' lawsuit. Now, this is something that we will have a executive session will be held Thursday, August the 3rd, and then I guess we'll convert them to the meeting, right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And
And the same thing for the next
number
item.
18, this is a motion to approve or deny settlement offered for Ryder truck rental lawsuit, and this will be also at the executive session.
Yes, sir.
So, that being said, we're down to mayor and alderman comments. Alderman Brown,
No, thank you.
Alderman Cole,
No, thank you.
Alderman Jones. Well, Ms. Green's not here, so I want people to remember the farmer's market. It's every Tuesday until September. It's from 3 to 7. It's between the city hall and the library. Last Tuesday, we had a good turnout of people and vegetables. Everybody needs to take advantage of that. And we will not be here Tuesday because of National Night Out. Everybody come out to National Night Out. It's Tuesday, August 1st. It's at the Laverne City Park. It starts at 5:30. It goes to 7. It's always a good turnout and very enjoyable. They're going to have food and refreshments and a lot of booths by different businesses to give away pencils and such nots. And
I'm sorry, Mayor, again, that's booths, not booze.
yeah. Yeah, we don't give away no boots. And then just around the corner, it's Old Timers Day, Saturday, September the 9th. It's the second Saturday in September. The parade, I think, starts at 10. It's free entertainment, craft booths, music, food, and we're going to have a carnival this year. Hopefully it'll be a good carnival. And it's the activities for old and new. I think the parade kicks off at 10, and the Old Timers Day goes on to 6 o'clock. And again, the Citizens Police Academy, I think it's still 4 applicants available. It's from 5:30 to 8:30. That's on Tuesday nights. And it'll start, I think, August 22nd, and it goes through November the 14th, and it's at the back behind City Hall at the Police Department. Everybody can, if they can take it, I think they'll enjoy it. I took it 2 years ago, and I enjoyed it real good. And that's all I have, and I appreciate everybody showing up, and I'll call this workshop over.